Ever thought of how humans will live in the future, having flying taxis, robotic avatars, holograms, and artificial intelligence? Well, we may not have to imagine or wait too long, as Saudi Arabia already has a futuristic megacity project underway. In January 2021, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman announced the plans for a new zero-carbon city called The Line. The mega project is being designed by a company called Neom, and that blends architecture, engineering, and sustainability. The project was initiated by the Saudi Arabian government. The line will span for a length of 170 kilometers through the desert. It is to be constructed on a coastal strip in Tabuk in the northwest of Saudi Arabia in a specially designated area. It will have a total width of 200 meters of outdoor space in between the two mirrored skyscrapers and a total height of 500 meters above sea level. With a jaw-dropping budget of $500 to $700 billion, the line is expected to be built on a footprint of just 34 square kilometers. The Line project is based on a new concept called zero-gravity urbanism that presents the idea of layering city functions vertically. This will give people the possibility of moving seamlessly in three directions, up, down, or across. And that's not even the best part. The Line is designed to be a city with no roads and no cars. It is expected to operate on 100% renewable energy, including the operations of its infrastructural industries such as high-speed railroad. And it will have robotic avatars and holograms that will become a part of everyday life. It is said that artificial intelligence will monitor the city and use predictive data models to improve daily life of the Line populace. Sounds either as utopia or dystopia. Depends which way it will go eventually. Hopefully not sideways. According to Neom, residents will get higher disposable income since they will not be paying for expenses like fuel, parking, or car insurance. According to MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia, the designs revealed for the city's vertically layered communities will challenge the traditional flat, horizontal cities and create a model for nature preservation and enhance human livability. The Line will tackle challenges facing humanity in urban life today and will shine a light on alternative ways to live. To simply describe the city, many people have said it would be like living on Mars, which may be good news for some, but this megacity project has stirred up some controversy that it is nothing more than a PR stunt or a pipe dream.
About the pros and cons of the Saudi Arabia city of the future, I would say, for who will it be built? Will it be only for the elite, for a certain number of people, for all the people? I don't think it will fit all the people. Also, it is very important, of course, for a country to sustain its social cohesion, so there will not be a difference between those who live in that city and those who don't live in that city. So I think it's a PR campaign. And another question would be, who is going to build it? Is it the Saudis or is it someone else?
It has been announced that phase 1 of the project will last until 2030, but ultimately, the line could take 50 years to complete. Interestingly, Neom has other planned mega projects in Saudi Arabia, one named Oxagon and the other one Trojena. Oxagon is said to be a gateway to advanced and clean industries, which will make it the largest floating industrial complex in the world. Meanwhile, Trojena will be an all-year-round destination with mountain-quality dry air, a ski slope, mountain biking, water sports, wellness facilities, and an interactive nature reserve. But with all these futuristic plans, several questions have been raised concerning the merits of the design and project's potential environmental and biodiversity issues. The 170-kilometer profile would create a large-scale barrier to adjacent ecosystems and migratory species similar to that created by highways, and that the mirrored exterior facade would be dangerous for birds in particular. The upcoming city's data collection scheme raises questions of populace data privacy, as this surveillance city shall know everything about everyone. So it seems. And this paints a picture of authoritarian dystopia. doesn't it? Another point of concern is Saudi Arabia's government's persistence in pushing the project forward. There was even a violent death recorded during the scrutiny over a dislocation of the local population in the area. And 3 indigenous men were sentenced to death after they refused to move out of their homes to make way for the line.
The line, Saudi Arabia's eco project, as we call it, I think very much more is a vanity project by MBS. We saw the failure of Mascar in Abu Dhabi, but if oil prices and gas prices do correct back to normal levels in the future, this could strain the Saudi finances and maybe not be the project that they wish to really fulfill. Already there are problems with displacement of local tribes and people, arising human rights concerns.
The Saudi government believes, though, that the line has to be built, as it would create 380,000 jobs and would add about $50 billion to the country's GDP. Not bad, but the project still needs a quarter of a century to complete. Although the line, on paper at least, offers the advantage of providing zero carbon emissions, as energy would come from renewable sources, its downside, however, from the pollution perspective, is that the materials used in building such an enormous project could be emissions intensive, to put it mildly. Yet, still as an advantage, the megacity project, which is often called a ground scraper, is seeking to reinvent urbanism and remove the pollution, noise, time-wasting, financial burdens, and sprawl of the city life in exchange for an ultra-efficient paradise. With such huge plans and finances for the project, many still question if the line will remain a blissful fantasy or become a reality. The Saudi Arabian government, however, seems to be keen on making the project a reality, as excavation work had started along the entire length of the project. Although the project has faced major criticisms and doubts over its effect on the environment, as well as its technological and economic viability, the future of the project looks positive, but only time will tell if this megacity will become a reality or remain a pipe dream. So what do you think about Saudi Arabia's futuristic project? Do you think it will become a reality, or do you think it's just a PR campaign? I'll leave 2 comments below, pro and contra, so you can vote. Let's find out what our audience thinks. Look, thank you so much for joining in on this episode of On Finance. My name's Ray. I'll see you on the next episode.